I have a mantra that I've used for a number of years now, which a lot of analysts and I talk about, which is around turning every organization into a customer-centric company. So every company is servicing customers, no matter how you look at it. But how do you get everybody involved in your organization to make that customer service the number one thing that you're providing to them?
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Modern Customer Podcast. I'm your host, Blake Morgan. Today, my guest is John Finch, Global Vice President of Product Marketing for Customer Experience at RingCentral. At RingCentral, we are talking about bringing AI products to market. We're talking about major challenges in customer experience and the opportunity of bringing AI into the contact center. We're talking about the art of marketing an AI product and so much more. Please enjoy John Finch. John, welcome to the Modern Customer Podcast. Are you in the Bay Area today?
Yeah, hey, thanks for having me. I am in the Bay Area today. I'm in sunny Belmont today, just south of San Francisco.
But you live both in Sonoma and South San Francisco?
I do. I live both in Sonoma and San Francisco, so I spend the weekends in Sonoma and spend the weekdays here in Belmont and in San Francisco. Yeah,
Sonoma is such a cute town. It's so beautiful. And
it
I
is.
saw that you're like on the board of an art gallery there. So you have an art
Yeah.
background, or what's the interest in art?
I just do. I like art. I always have. Did some graduate studies in it, and I've always had a I've always been very interested in it, and it's sort of been something that I've been passionate about. So, lots of friends are artists, family members that are artists, nephews that's an artist, and so it's been a very passionate sort of area for me. So, being on the board of the Sonoma Valley Museum of Art also gives me a little bit of a connection with the community too up in Sonoma. So it's been really great.
Well, we have that in common. My mom is an artist, an art professor, and I grew up around all that too. But I always think about how
It's cool.
creative content and marketing is, and you're a master marketer. Let's just talk about how you became interested in marketing and how you got started on that journey.
It's an interesting one. I started out as a salesperson, and I was selling data networking solutions to large businesses here right out of college in the Silicon Valley, and had a great interest in sort of selling, marketing, and technology all combined. I've sort of always been one of those persons that's been interested in taking things apart as a little kid and understanding how they work, and the ability for me to dive into technology and how it's sort of helping change the world or how we operate with one another or improve things has always been a passion behind it. At that larger organization that I was a part of, I had an opportunity to sort of go into product management, gave me the ability to launch products into market, sort of saw that I was passionate about that, seeing something come from an idea on paper to full execution and bringing it to the market where it's actually generating revenue. And you see the success that it's bringing to businesses around the world. It sort of drove me into the direction of becoming a product marketer, which towards the middle of the 2000s, it became more of a trend to break away marketing from product management and sort of dive into that. So it gave me the opportunity to really lean on the rest of the marketing organization as a product marketer and then still really be a part of the product and the intricacies of the product and how to simplify and explain a product in a way that made sense to a buyer and solve the problems for them. So it's always been a great passion of mine, and it's why I sort of continue to always be a product marketer when I am working on opportunities. And falling into the customer service opportunity here that we're in has been something that I've just stumbled into as a part of being in telecommunications, and found that really dealing with customers and taking care of customers and doing the right thing by customers was also a passion of mine. So for the last 20 some odd years, I've been really focused on customer service and contact center innovations. And it's really an exciting time to be a big part of those.
So let's just level set for our audience that might not be familiar. Can you just talk about what Ring Central actually does?
Yeah, RingCentral is a cloud-based communications platform. We started out as an organization 25 years ago, bringing PBX and phone systems for businesses to the cloud. The organization evolved over time to include things like video conferencing, contact center solutions, as well as collaboration tools. So we have an app called RingCentral app, which is very similar to Slack, that allows to be the interface that all of our users use for the phone system on the desktop as well as on their mobile devices. And it also brings together all of our technologies that I just mentioned. So we've been around for quite some time, 2.2 billion and growing, and we continue to innovate. And I think with the next wave of innovation that we see here, especially in customer service, but let's consider it for all workers across the board inside of an organization, AI is really changing the way people are working, and it's changing the way that we're looking at products, we're looking at how we innovate, how we help customers, and how we help them make more money and make their customers and their existing opportunities more successful.
I think product marketing and AI and customer experience is so hard. Like taking something that is really complicated and then distilling it into content, language, like it's just seems really challenging to me. What are the key ways that you do that, that you bring these products to market and knowing what will hit home with prospects and customers?
I think a lot of it has to do with sort of how you approach things, Blake. It's talking to a lot of people and getting the information from those individuals. I talk to a lot of customers. We talk to a lot of customers. We talk to a lot of experts and influencers like yourself in the industry that are also talking to customers. And we get a better understanding of what customer needs are and how they're evolving while still sort of keeping an eye on what's next, right? So understanding what's out there from a technology perspective, what can be innovated on, what the latest development cycles are, what's the latest technology that we're using to develop and bring things to market, all tied in with like the crystal ball, taking a
Hmm.
guess of what it could be and how you would want to innovate your products to make them unique and differentiated to ultimately help your customers. So it's a little bit of science and it's a little bit of creativity, like you said, and it's thinking outside the box. But ultimately, we look at it from at least the contact center perspective or the customer experience perspective is what can we do better to make it better for us as consumers, as customers of different brands. If you were to have an experience with XYZ brand, what might your technology do to enhance that experience? How do you make it effortless? How do
Hmm.
you make it like you show up at a hotel and you want for nothing? And
Right.
if you happen to want something, it's available to you in a way that you barely have to lift a finger. And that's how we sort of look at bringing this innovation into the market and looking at the differentiation. And ultimately, it's about the people behind that, right? So it's about the customer at the front end, us. And then it's also about the agent and the supervisor and the business, right? So it's looking across the board and how can we better the lives and the day-to-day operations and interaction by interaction operations that exist for these individuals. How can AI help to automate? How can it help to inform? And how can it help to, make their lives easier in general?
I love that. I always talk about making people's lives easier and better is why we are here. Let's look at some of the big challenges you see your customers have in experience today. Can you just illustrate a couple that you're seeing over and over?
Yeah, I mean, there's one where, and this is sort of the impetus of this product that we have in market right now called RingCX, and it's really about simplification. I think there is an old viewpoint that everyone has that's in the business that contact centers are complex and complicated. So we see some of that, and we see that other organizations can kind of benefit from these technologies now that they're sort of simplified. So what I mean by that is there's a lot of configurations out there where large amount of agents all over the globe, they're handling, tens of thousands of interactions a day, and they have lots of different systems from lots of different vendors, which adds to the complexity that they have in their
Yeah.
configurations. But in general, a lot of those organizations don't need that complexity anymore. They're looking at how do you streamline that? How do you make that a little bit better? And operationally, how do you actually take and reduce costs while improving that experience overall? Those are some of the big challenges we see. We also see smaller organizations looking for something better than just an IVR with, leave a voicemail if no one's there and hope and pray that that customer actually answers the phone or returns your email once you're back in the office. being able to provide 24 hours, 24/7 service to your customers, even if you're a small mom and pop shop, is
Mm-hmm.
something now that's attainable. So we see it on both of those spectrums, and we're bringing that together sort of in a way that makes it digestible, easy to use, easy to set up, priced appropriately, and ultimately becomes something that is a solution for everyone. So it's enterprise grade, meaning that a large organization, in my first example, has what they need for reliability, scalability, security, all of those things that are very important. But the small mom and pop business still has the opportunity to take advantage of that. And it's not super complex to deploy, and it's not overly costly for them to take and leverage these innovations that they have available to them in the solution.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. You talked a little bit about some of the challenges that you're seeing across the board. I mean, simplicity, obviously, that is really desirable for every company today, reducing back end complexity. How do you create a customer first mindset for your business? What are the key tenets of that?
Like it's really an interesting question, and I think why it's important is that, living and breathing the life of customers, similar to your example that you used on our event last week with John Legere, the former CEO of T-Mobile, where he grew his hair out, spent time with his customers, acted like a customer, and really was informed by his customers, drove him in the direction to become customer centric. And I really took that to heart. And it's something that now I'm going to instill in everything we do to build these products. It's always been about the customer. It always is about talking with them and trying to sort of look ahead at what could be next on the technology, like we said earlier. But it really is living and breathing what the customers are experiencing. What are their problems at hand? What are they seeing in their industry that they need to change? What are they actually experiencing from their customers? How are their customers feeling about this? So you and I and all of us that are developing these technologies and sort of, plans to help organizations provide better customer service really need to be thinking about it in a multifaceted way. It's something that's not straightforward, right? It's customers, it's us as customers, it's the changing technology that consumers have available to them on mobile devices and with apps every day. It's AI at the consumer level, it's AI at the business level, it's businesses and how they're doing business with their customers. If it's healthcare, it's patient experience. If it's T-Mobile, it's the consumer experience with a mobile phone. If it's any other, sort of industry, how do we help them make their customer experiences special for
Mm-hmm.
their specific business? And
Yeah.
that's sort of what needs to be instilled, I believe, in everything we do to develop software to help do that.
Yeah, I love that example of Jean Leger in 2012 when he got up at CES on stage and said, like, this industry is terrible to customers. We're going to be the uncarrier. And then he matched that transformation with his pink, magenta T-Mobile colors. He grew out his hair. He wore the leather jacket. Like, he transformed as a leader, as his brand transformed. And I love sharing that story. Let's talk about AI. Everyone wants to know use cases for AI. What kinds of
Yeah.
problems can AI solve? Can you just talk about the new release or innovation from your RingCX product from an AI perspective
Yeah.
and what's happening there?
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, it's exciting. I think that we're starting to see more and more use cases evolve, like we said, thinking about how agents need to assist customers, first contact resolution, making sure that it's a timely resolution and it's that first interaction and you're done. It's the right information every time. It's the happiness of the agent that then projects onto the happiness of the customer. It's the helpfulness that a supervisor is going to ultimately provide to the agent that then provides better service to the customer, and so on and so on. So, what we did announce, as you know, is we announced two very important things. Number one was assistance for agents. Actually, three very important things. Number one is assistance to agents and being able to prompt them with the right information during every interaction. So, the artificial intelligence and AI agent assist will provide from the knowledge base that the customer has the information that the agent needs to be able to answer the interaction correctly. So if it's a voice interaction, someone calls in, that agent will be fed information from the knowledge base based on what the AI assistant is hearing to prompt the agent with the right answers every time. Secondarily to that, we added in what we call IVA, or bring your own IVA. And as everybody knows, interactive or intelligent virtual agent actually does provide the ability for the customer to get self-service 24/7. So having that capability now as a core part of our solution provides our customers with the ability to offer that 24/7 and attach that information into the knowledge base that agents are also using to get the correct information. So there's a choice in different types of IVAs that customers can use, and we announced that availability for customers to bring their own IVA or use the IVA that we have as our selection. The third option, or the third piece that we introduced as well, is for supervisor assist. And what this does is during coaching sessions for agents, it's looking and listening to every interaction and then providing a plan that is self-directed to the supervisor to then give to the agent based on every interaction they've had throughout the month. And so that information is aggregated. It's based on pros and cons that the AI assistant has heard during the quality management process that's fully automated by the AI, and then provides this work plan that is actionable by the supervisor with the agent to be able to provide that improvement in their overall customer service. So it fully automates something that was a very laborious sort of activity that happened in non-business hours and sort of stacked up for supervisors, and then became less, appealing for agents to be able to go through. And it makes it more active, it makes it more automated, and it makes it more easy for everybody that's involved there.
Change management is a big piece of bringing AI into the contact center. And I'm just curious, you're providing this incredible technology, this power, this muscle to the contact center. But are your clients having to also incorporate change management tactics as they bring in this technology?
In some cases, yes. I think that, organizations that have a very manual process around quality management are probably having to make some shifts, because a lot of the stuff that they had to do, like listening in on calls or, digging into certain interactions that are happening in a regular basis, they now have the ability to sort of do this fully automated for them with the AI. So they don't have to set time aside. So it's really taking and giving time back on their calendars. We've heard from customers, one of which is by our law firm, or husband and wife law firm, on our webinar last week, where they said they've cut down by like 30% or more of the time on their calendar from having to deal with a process that once was required by them. So now everything is taken over by AI and sort of provides them with that automation. So we're seeing a significant uplift. And it also then, on the other side, if you think about it, makes it more accessible to organizations of all sizes. So a smaller organization that doesn't have time or people power to afford to purchase or implement a huge process that has to do with quality management, they can't afford the technology because it's millions of dollars to implement. And then it's another process on top of already a limited amount of bandwidth to do the work. Now they can take advantage of this without having to implement a new process, without having to spend a lot more money to get the technology that only larger businesses were once able to afford. So on both ends of the spectrum, it has that appeal and has that sort of demonstrable return on investment for them.
Yeah, it's exciting to see these success stories because it's not like the contact center has endless resources. So now maybe they can redeploy these resources. If they're saving money or making money, they can put it somewhere else, which I think is really
Yes,
exciting. Let's
exactly.
close the formal part of our interview, John, on some tactics for jump starting our listeners' journeys toward effortless customer experiences. Where would you start them?
Yeah, I think, it's a great question. I think everybody's a little different. Businesses need to sort of look at what is it that they're trying to achieve. And I think you'll agree with this, is what is your philosophy around customer service? And I think the components of looking at your organization and understanding how you as a company, as a brand, are looking to change your customer service. What areas do you need to improve upon? What is your philosophy? Do you have a champion, right? All of these things that are necessary to sort of look holistically at what you're trying to do before you pick a technology and go to an RFP or start to kind of poke around, what is it philosophically that you're trying to do in your organization? And how do you want to change that customer service initiative company wide? I have a mantra that I've used for a number of years now, which a lot of analysts and I talk about, which is around turning every organization into a customer centric company.
Mm-hmm.
So every company is servicing customers, no matter how you look at it. But how do you get everybody involved in your organization to make that customer service the number one thing that you're providing to them? So Blake, one of the things in terms of starting out is really a philosophy that you bring to the forefront with your 8 laws of customer focused leadership is how does an organization look at its customer service? What do you want to change? What do you need to change? What is your net promoter score? Are you measuring that? Are you not measuring that? How are your sales? How is your customer retention? What is being said about you in the social media ether about your brand? Do you have loyal customers? Do you want to make those customers more loyal? All of these things should be a part of your consideration when looking to change technologies. It's not just about technology to save money. Yes, that's one angle, but the real angle is about how do you better the service. And so it would be stepping back, taking a look at what challenges you have today, having conversations with your agents, having conversations with the supervisors on the front line, having lots of conversations with customers, having conversations probably with your peers in the industry, or even your peers in other industries that are running contact center solutions, and then coming back to the drawing board and putting together a plan. And then executing on that plan, to your point of the 8 laws, it's really about, do you have budget? What does that budget look like? Is it just about the technology? Is it about technologies and processes? How are you incentivizing agents? How are you incentivizing supervisors? How do you look at, revenue generation? What kinds of things are you trying to measure? What are your KPIs? Then look at the technology. Which technology is going to meet your needs? Which is the most cost effective? Which has the capabilities for you today? And which technology is going to have more innovation for you in the future? So looking at something that's going to be more future proof for you as you go along. And look at a vendor that wants to be your partner. Don't look at the vendor as a vendor, or the vendor looks at you as a customer and then ignores you. It's a partnership, and it really is about how can we do this together. And so what RingCentral really provides is that partnership. We have full professional services on every implementation. It's not costly. In many cases, it's part of the package in the software offering. And we just want to ensure that our customers are well equipped to provide that better customer service. It's not about just pulling you off of premise-based solutions or other more costly cloud-based solutions, or if you have nothing at all, putting you onto something. It's about doing the right thing and following a process to do that.
Yeah, I can remember when I worked at Intel, the chip maker, in customer service, having vendors that were partners that would help me with ROI calculations. And I mean, the vendors that are committed, that are really like ride or die. I mean, back then, this was a while ago, but they're few and far between. So when a vendor really
Yeah.
commits, it really does make the difference for the practitioner that really needs and relies on that support, because their reputation is on the line too.
Yep, 100%, 100%. And that's exactly what we're trying to do too. We have a new product in market, right? It's native to RingCentral. This is not a partner product. This is not a product that we've acquired and now are selling as part of our solution. We built this product from the ground up to do the things that it's doing for our 350 customers that we have today. And in a short period of time, we've been able to do this. And so it's pretty monumental. And the feedback that we're getting from customers is they're elated with the technology, its ease of use, and the partnership that we have with them in terms of making their customer service better.
That's awesome to hear. Well, John, congrats on your success. And I really wish you the best with bringing this product to market. Let's get to know you a little bit better on a personal
Sure,
level. We heard about the art, but I have a few more questions for you. Are you ready for some rapid fire fun?
totally. Let's do it.
All right, John, what's the most important part of your morning routine?
Ooh, cup of coffee.
What show are you currently streaming?
I am, oh boy, that's a tough one. I'm not streaming anything at the moment. I am watching a lot of YouTube stuff.
Okay.
random things. So there's no streaming, but I am a big history buff, so I watch a lot of documentaries on history, especially World War II on YouTube, and I get sucked
Cool.
into those. So call that streaming, but yeah,
Cool. That counts. What's your idea of perfect happiness?
a beach in Hawaii with no one else around.
What is one mental health strategy for managing hard days?
Uh, Taking time out for myself, either walking the dogs or taking a nice swim.
What is your favorite type of vacation?
A beach vacation somewhere overseas.
If you could have lunch with anyone dead or alive, who would it be?
John Lennon,
If you could describe your outlook in one quick motto, what would it be?
the glass is half full.
Awesome. John, if people want to learn more about RingCentral or what you're doing over there, where can they do that?
RingCentral.com. Come visit us. We've got a lot of things to share with you. I'm very excited to be here today, Blake. Thank you for having
Awesome.
us.
This has been so fun, John. Thank you, everybody. You've been tuning into the Modern Customer Podcast. Until next time. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow me on social media, including Instagram, LinkedIn, X, and more.